All right, this is a tour of my electrical system. First, I have the seat removed, but on the bottom of the shelf I built is a Bluetti AC200P. It is the life brain of the system, and it currently runs the electric blanket, which I have here. It's just a heating pad. If you can see, it spikes at 155 watts every once in a while, so it's not a constant draw. It's just those little spikes, and that keeps it super low energy. The DC load there is my compressor cooler, which is right here. It's a Massimo e-cooler. Has a built-in battery, but I keep it at 32 degrees, and it only runs when it needs to. The PV input up at the top there, that is my solar panel. The Bluetti, this Bluetti is very picky. It takes 34-ish volts for it to charge via solar. I have a single 210 watt Newpowa solar panel, and it fits the bill just perfectly. I didn't want to have two panels, which a lot of people have to run with this, but I just have a single one. So all my USBs, charge cell phones, GPS, and other little batteries for when I'm on the road. I do have a Jackery that carries the day-to-day USB stuff while driving, GPS, another phone charger, and the CB, which is right there. So that little GPS is always charging off the Bluetti. This phone, or this iPad, runs Gaia and runs Waze and Pandora simultaneously. Those two little USBs power one. The white one powers the iPad, and the black one actually powers this wireless charger over here. And then there's the Garmin GPS. That is actually full-time connected to the Jackery. Could everything be connected to the Bluetti? Absolutely. It would just need a bigger splitter, and I didn't want to mess around with that. So, and I like them all. So that is the system. It's a lot of gear, a fair amount of tech. Also on the other side of the Jackery, here we have a USB fan that's fed off the Jackery. Charging my GoPro for vlogging, that's done on the Bluetti. And then I charge the battery banks for when I go hiking to make sure that all my camera gear stays charged, and in case of emergency. And those are charged off the Bluetti as well. So I have a lot of power options, and I usually, the solar panel itself will charge the battery completely, usually by 2 p.m. in the afternoon if the sun is out, and I start the evening at about 90%. Because I drive in the dark for a while and it wears down. I start at 90%, and the little heating pad takes it down to 70-ish, 65, 70-ish by morning. So not too bad. I have never dropped below 70%, or 65%, I'm sorry. Now, if I need more power, I have an option for that. While the car is running on the passenger side below, I do have a 12-volt cigarette lighter connected directly to the battery. Once I plug that in, now that gets me 2 ways to charge, because I do have the DC enhancer, which is an add-on part to the Bluetti. Here's the model of my Bluetti AC200P. So that gives me an extra 113 watts there on the upper right-hand corner. So right now I'm bringing in 114 from the car, 97 from the solar panel. It's 30 degrees out and 9:36 a.m. So not too bad. I usually don't run with the DC power from the car because I don't need it. But here is my solar panel. It is mounted to my roof rack with pipe clamps in the front and in the back. And then I have my awning mounted, and I created some aluminum stock material and angle iron to support the other side of the panel. So it's supported on both sides. Wind tested to 102 miles an hour. Don't ask me how I got that number. And then it's just wired up here. It's an example of the custom mount I built. And then the awning bolts to the rhino rack like that. So all stuff you can find at Home Depot. Just got to be a little creative. But that's a Newpowa 210 watt, 24 volt, and it was about $1 a watt. So I think shipped it was 230 bucks. And then my wires just run down the windshield and into the engine bay and then through to the inside. So there's what it looks like from the outside. I do take the iPad down when I'm hiking, just because you never know. Also, for my road trips, I do add a 3-camera dash camera, one forward, one inside the car, and then one out the back, in the back window. Another temporary setup just for lighting. Back here when I cook, I just added these lights. They're just some 12 volt lights, RGB, IC, all the fun toys. And those are powered by a Bluetti EB3A, which I haven't charged in 2 weeks because it only runs LED lights, but it also charges my phone when I'm cooking on my stove, which pulls out right there. So a lot of it's temporary because this is still my daily driver. So I go from camper to kid hauler in about 3 hours, and it's 100% stock.